Shrike and the Chipmunks by James Thurber. Once upon a time, there were two chipmunks, a female and a male.
The male chipmunk thought that arranging nuts in an artistic pattern was more fun than just piling them up to see how many you could pile up.
The female was all for piling up as many as you could. She told her husband that if he gave up making designs with the nuts, there would be room in their very large cave for a great many more, and he would soon become the wealthiest chipmunk in the woods.
But he would not let her interfere with his designs, so she flew into a rage and left him.
The Shrike is going to get you because you are helpless and cannot look after yourself.
To be sure, the female chipmunk had not been gone 3 nights before the male had to dress for a banquet and could not find his shirt or his studs or his suspenders. So he couldn't go to the banquet, but that was just as well, because all the chipmunks who did go were attacked and killed by a weasel.
The next day, the Shrike began hanging around outside the chipmunk's cave waiting to catch him. But the Shrike couldn't get in because the doorway was all clogged up with soiled laundry and dirty dishes. He will come out for a walk after breakfast, and I will get him then, thought the Shrike.
But the chipmunk slept all day and did not get up and have breakfast until after dark. Then he came out for a breath of air before beginning work on a new design.
The Shrike swooped down to snatch up the chipmunk, but could not see very well on account of the dark, so she batted her head on an alder branch and was killed.
A few days later, the female chipmunk returned and saw the awful mess the house was in. She went to the bed and shook her husband. "What would you do without me?"
Just go on living, I guess.
You wouldn't last 5 days. She swept the house, she did the dishes, and sent out the laundry. And then she made the chipmunk get up and wash and dress. You can't be healthy if you lie in bed all day. You never get any exercise.
So she took him for a walk in the bright sunlight, and they were both caught and killed by the Shrike's brother.
A Shrike named Stu.
Moral:
Early to rise and early to bed.
makes a man healthy and wealthy.
And dead.
It's a big costume show.
The Sheep in Wolf's Clothing by James Thurber. Not very long ago, there were 2 sheep who put on wolf's clothing and went among the wolves as spies to see what was going on.
They arrived on a holiday when all the wolves were singing in the taverns or dancing in the streets. The first sheep said to her companion,
Wolves are just like us, for they gamble and frisk, and every day is a holiday in Wolfland, and she made some notes on a piece of paper.
which a spy should never do.
And she headed them my 24 hours in Wolfland, where she had decided not to be a spy any longer, but to write a book on Wolfland and also some articles for the chief's home companion.
The other sheep guessed what she was planning to do, so she slipped away and began to write a book called My 10 Hours in Wolfland.
The first sheep suspected what was up when she found her friend had gone, so she wired a book to her publisher called My 5 Hours in Wolfland, and it was announced for publication first.
The other sheep immediately sold her manuscript to a newspaper syndicate for serialization.
Both sheep gave the same message to their fellows.
Wolves were just like sheep, for they gamble and frisk.
And every day was a holiday in Wolfland.
The citizens of Sheepland were convinced by all this, so they drew in their sentinels and they let down their barriers.
When the wolves descended upon them one night, howling and slavering, the sheep were as easy to kill as flies on a window pane.
Moral: don't get it right.
Just get it written.